Hi, and welcome to an episode of Outside of the Box with Angie. I am Angie, and I am a board certified holistic health practitioner. And today we are going to dive into the subject of journaling for your health. Before we do that, though, I want to talk to you a little bit about why I have created Outside of the Box. As a holistic health practitioner, the things that interest me, the things that draw my attention, the things that I am really into still seem to be a little bit unconventional, even within the field of holistic health. So, things like the carnivore diet, or human design, or astrology, or Bach flower essences, or reading tarot, all of these things are things that really light me up. But even within the holistic health community, they are, as I said, considered a little bit unconventional or outside of the box. So that is why I have created this space so I can share my unconventional wisdom with anyone who feels aligned with it. So today we are going to dive into the topic of journaling. And this is something that I have had an extensive practice with for many years. This is something that I teach my health clients to do as well for themselves. And it's a practice that really helps you to tap into your own body and find out what your body is asking for. Find out the things that your body is not liking and the things that your body might want more of. We do this through a daily journaling practice. And I am going to take you through this process in today's video. So, as I already told you, I'm Angie and I'm a board certified holistic health practitioner. My certification is through the American Association of Natural Wellness Practitioners. And I have spent countless years navigating my own health journey, my own physical symptoms, my own emotional healing. And now I am here to assist others along a similar path. So, why journaling? Journaling is a very valuable tool in creating and maintaining an optimum state of health and wellness, physically and emotionally. And as I already stated, this is a practice that I do myself, that I have done for years, that I also teach my clients to do. And so today we're just going to break down the benefits of journaling, what to include in your journal, and the types of journals that you can use. So, for the benefits, the first one is it takes dedicated time. And a lot of people have a really hard time setting aside a specific window for themselves each day. But if you are going to commit to this practice, you are going to set aside 10 to 15 minutes, maybe even more, each day to sit down just by yourself and write in your journal. So this is a good, just private time, alone time with yourself to tap into yourself. All right, the second thing, and this is a huge one, it helps to identify patterns. All right, so this shows us where patterns continually are repeating themselves. And we might not see these patterns if we're not writing down things on a daily basis. So you might not realize that every time you eat this particular food, 2 days later, you end up with a migraine. Or every time you have this certain meal for dinner at a certain time, you have a really hard time sleeping. Or maybe when the moon is in a certain sign, you get angry. And these things happen time after time after time, but you're not fully aware of it because you're not keeping track of it. You're not writing it down. Once you start to write things down every day, patterns will show themselves very quickly. And then you can see, oh, well, I see where this is causing me a problem. Maybe I need to do this a different way. Or, oh, this is why I pick a fight with my husband every month on this day, and it's not necessarily hormonal. The moon and the planets do a whole lot of things that sometimes we're not aware of. So we're going to get to that more in a little bit. So it identifies patterns. And number 3, it helps us to process our feelings and emotions in a healthy way. If we choose to write about the feelings that we are navigating, the experiences that we are navigating, it really helps us to process those things out when we put our thoughts and feelings on paper. All right. We're going to move on to what to include. All right. Now, don't get overwhelmed by this process, because there's about 9 different things I'm going to take you through on what to include. And it seems like a lot at first, but once you get in the practice of doing it, you'll see it flows pretty quickly. All right. So the first thing is your foods. This is really important. Everything that you eat and drink all day long, along with the times that you're eating it and drinking it. And please be honest, okay? Because this is just your journal for you. This is not for anybody else. It's just for you. So don't think, oh, well, if I don't write this down, it doesn't count. That's not going to help with this process. That's not what this is about. So you need to write down everything you're eating, everything you're drinking, along with the time. Okay? Then moods. You're going to write down your general moods for the day, but also specifically after meals and activities. Okay, so how did you ate this for breakfast? How did you feel after? You ate this for dinner. How did you feel after? Or maybe you did a specific activity. You did this workout. How did you feel after? Or maybe how did you feel after work? Or how did you feel after a conversation with this person? Just your moods through the day, how they're shifting, and how you feel after specific things. Okay? Sleep. How long you slept each night, how well you slept. Did you wake up a bunch? Did you have to go to the bathroom? Did you sleep straight through the night? How many hours was it? And also anything relevant, which would be like, did you have any really strange dreams? Did you wake up in a sweat? Just anything and everything about your sleep you can keep track of. And I will say with the sleep, a lot of people like to use the monitors, the body devices and stuff. Personally, I'm not a fan of those because I don't like having that extra EMF on my body while I'm sleeping. But they can provide some valuable information that you might not be aware of, like the amount of deep sleep you're getting, or REM sleep, or things like that. So if you do use one of those, make use of the information that it's giving you. But I definitely recommend not using it all the time, because you want to give your body a break from those EMFs. Okay, next, bowel movements. This is a big one as well. And people, this is something that, not everybody wants to talk about, but is a huge indicator of your general health. So what I want you to do is look up something called the Bristol Stool Chart. Bristol Stool Chart. This is going to give you basically a cartoon-like picture of 7 different types of stool, what it looks like, and it's going to assign it a number. So you are going to keep track of your bowel movements, how often you have them, when you have them, what time of day, and look at the Bristol Stool Chart and pick the number that coincides with the quality of it. And this is a big indicator of your health and can tell you a lot of things about your body. So you need to be keeping track of it. Next is exercise. Any type of exercise you do, write down the type of exercise, the duration, how you felt before you did it, and how you felt after. A lot of people actually might feel a little bit exhausted after exercise. They might feel a little bit worse than before they started. And this is going to be a huge indicator of what you should and should not be doing. So if you go for a run and you feel rejuvenated and amazing after, write it down. If you do a HIIT workout and you feel exhausted after, write it down. If you do a yoga workout and you feel like, wow, I just moved some emotion out of my muscles and I feel much lighter and looser. Write it down. Okay, there is nothing that is too insignificant for this process. All right, next, supplements and medications. Anything that you take at any time, whether it is a natural supplement, a multivitamin, whether you get a headache and you take a Tylenol, or it's a prescription medicine, whatever it is, write it down, what you took, the day, and the time. All right. Hormonal symptoms for ladies. Each day that you are journaling, it's important to keep track of what cycle day you are on. So the day your period starts is cycle day 1, and then every day follows chronologically after that. Typically, we're going to ovulate around cycle day 14. Okay, and then we move through, and then the end of our cycle would be like day 26, 27, 28. So when you are journaling, write down, include the cycle day. Also include any hormonal symptoms you are experiencing. If it's during your period, write down how that's going. You ladies know what I mean. I don't need to explain that. If you are around your ovulation window and you are having symptoms that indicate ovulation, write that stuff down. When you are in your last week, when you're getting close to your period and things are getting a little haywire again, write it all down. It's all very important to how your body is operating. Okay, next one. This one I love. Okay, you are going to keep track of the lunar cycle in your journal. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, there's lots of apps you can use. Sometimes even the weather app will tell you what phase that the moon is in, whether it's a full moon or a new moon or a first quarter moon. But I also really like to keep track of the sign that the moon is in. So it changes signs, about every 2.5 days or so. So is the moon in Pisces? Is the moon in Aries? Today, when I'm recording this, it is in Aries. You will find that as the moon switches signs, you might feel quite differently. When the moon is in Pisces, you might feel very emotional and weepy. When the moon is in Aries, you might get extra fiery. You might get a little angry. When the moon is in Virgo, you might feel just very stable and grounded. It is a real phenomenon, and it affects me tremendously because as a reflector, I am highly affected by the moon and all of the planetary transits, but I believe it's not just me. I taught elementary school for 20 years, and I know that every single child is highly affected by the moon. And I have also heard that anybody that works in hospitals will tell you that everything gets crazy around a full moon. So we are all affected by the moon in ways that we don't even realize. So keep track of the lunar cycle in your journal. Even if you're not writing anything down other than the moon's in Pisces, or it's a full moon, or the moon is in Aries. You don't have to know what it means. But after you do this for a couple of months, you're going to see what it means for you. All right. And then the last thing would be thoughts and feelings that need processing. So this is what most people would typically consider journaling. When you are writing, putting your thoughts on paper, putting your feelings on paper, processing through your writing experience. All right, so this is one of those areas that's going to be very unique to you. It's going to take extra time, and it's up to you how you wish to work through that. Okay, so that covers all of the things that you're going to include in your journaling. Now we're going to move on to different types of journals. So I'm going to tell you about 4 different types of journals here, and the one that I use. So the first thing would be a pre-printed book. There are several versions of these that it's basically already done for you. All you have to do is fill in the blanks or check this off or whatever. You can get them on Amazon. This one here that's pictured it's called a daily wellness log. And typically they have enough space for about 90 days worth of information. So if you get something like this, you're going to have to repurchase it every 90 days. All right, then there's digital downloadable things, printables. There's tons of these on like Etsy, but again, already printed out for you. All you do is fill in the blanks, but you would have to use your printer and continuously print out new things for each day, and then have a place to put it like a binder. So that is another option if that is something that suits you. There are online apps where you can do this. In the service, in the platform that I use with my health clients, there is an interactive journaling app where my clients journal their things on their end, and then I have access to see it on my end. And that really helps our relationship, because I can see constantly what they're doing, what they're eating, how they're sleeping, what their exercise is like, what their moods are like. It includes all of this stuff, and it is interactive. So they communicate with me and I communicate with them through this app on this platform. So that's a really cool feature that I offer to my health clients. And then the last one is creating your own, using a plain old notebook. And that is what I do. I use a composition book, and I just dedicate one page for every day. And I start it off at the top of the day with the date and where the moon is and what cycle day I'm on. And then I just go chronologically through my day. I start with how I slept. And then I start with what I'm having for breakfast, what workout am I doing, how am I feeling? And I just move through the day chronologically, one page per day. And, you have to buy a new composition book every 3 months or so, but that's not a big deal. And I do keep them because, again, I like to look at the bigger long-term patterns as well, because I can look back at like a year ago at what was going on, and are there patterns that repeat like on a monthly basis? Do I feel the same way in February every year? Just random stuff like that. It's amazing the patterns that will show up if you do this long enough. Or another way is if you are a computer person and you want to keep track of everything on the computer, then you can make your own template. Like I said, I was an elementary teacher for a lot of years, so we made a lot of our own templates when it came to lesson planning and calendar type things. So if you like to do that kind of stuff and you want to do it on the computer, that's great as well. So those are your 4 options, 4 types of journals. Again, my favorite is the plain old composition notebook, but you do whatever aligns with you. Whatever you feel like you will actually keep up with and use is the one that you need to use. All right, so just as a review, there are several benefits. The biggest benefit being finding the patterns that show where important changes need to be made. We find what our body wants and what our body doesn't want when we do this consistently and we see these patterns. We should be recording things daily, including foods, moods, sleep, exercise, bowel movements, supplements, hormonal symptoms, lunar cycles, and any other feelings and emotions that you wish to put on paper. There are several to choose from. Choose the option that you like the best because it is the one that you will stick with. Okay, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me today as I have explained to you the importance of journaling, the value of it, and how you can use it to improve your daily health and wellness. I hope you have found this beneficial. Please follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all 3 of those are at Adding the Good Things. My website is addingthegoodthings.com. And you can find me on Facebook. My regular page is Angie Driscoll. And then I also have a private Facebook group called Outside of the Box with Angie, where people who really resonate with my unconventional holistic ways come together in a small community. So if you are interested in being a part of that, please join that as well. So I would love for you to follow and comment and let me know any questions that you have. It is my honor to exchange energy with you.